Hello and welcome to the first broadcast of Thoughtful Thursday. My name is Mapi Mhlangu and my guest for today is Nyasha Grace, founding member of the Great Zimbabwe Initiative. She is also co-anchor of an online Pan-African media platform called AfroSpace. Welcome, Grace, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mapi.
It's a difficult time for everyone. COVID-19, the crisis happening in the country, but surely there is something that we are thankful of today.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, COVID-19 and lockdown for me has literally been a pivotal shifting season for my life. It's during this lockdown that I have launched two organizations. The first being the Pan-African Media Online Platform, which is AfroSpace. And really that came because I've been thinking about coming up with these media platforms and in the traditional sense of having a studio and having guests come in and you sit with them and this in physicality. And that's got its own challenges and its own barriers, because it's, firstly more costly and it's more difficult to get people to actually come and be in studio with you. And lockdown showed that all of that was not necessary. You didn't need a studio, you didn't need high-tech cameras anymore, you didn't need to be in person with your guest. You could just go onto a digital platform and that person could be anywhere in the world. All you needed to do was sync the times and press the button of invite, of join, and you essentially have somebody to talk to. So it's really opened up a world in the media space that I think before we were not able to envision, because now I can think about talking to anybody and anywhere in the world, and previously that would have been a very difficult thing to think. So that's happened and I'm excited. I think it could have only happened for me with the lockdown, with the reset that the world is currently going through. And my second business is an online platform, basically e-commerce platform. Again, everybody shifted to online markets, and so that just accentuated the opportunity that was there for me for that. So I'm truly thankful. I think I'm truly thankful that this time happened. I've birthed two businesses, and yeah, that's my COVID thankfulness.
Yes, you are also a co-founder of the Great Zimbabwe Initiative. Tell us about that initiative and why you felt the need of contributing in that space.
Yeah. I mean, Mapi, I'm sure Zimbabwe currently is a topical conversation. It's trending on social media with the hashtag that Zimbabwean Lives Matter. And it's really a heavy time for us as Zimbabweans, because we are experiencing a time of real hardships, economically, politically, socially. And it's been a journey, 40 years of independence that unfortunately have not produced a story that we can sit and be proud of. I think for those who went and fought for our liberation, they would be turning in their graves, because we're not where I think they envisioned us to be and what they fought for. And the Great Zimbabwe Initiative was a couple of us came together as young people and, frustrated at how we saw the nation going, and we decided we wanted to, contribute in some way towards the building and the rebuilding of the nation, and understanding that as young people we have such an important role and an important responsibility to start getting involved in directing where the nation should go and starting to dream about where we want to see the country going. So it's a leadership development organization, and from what we've created, we identified people who've got an interest in politics, we've identified people with interest in business and leadership and across different sectors. And we've literally just helped them, come up to achieving some of those things. So I'm a product of that, having taken up in the space for media, and we've got a couple of other people who've gone and actually run for office at local level, and I'm sure the next elections we'll be seeing a whole lot more coming up to take even more pronounced positions politically. So we It's the Great Zimbabwe, and I'm sure, for anybody who knows Zimbabwe, that they know that those ruins are a monument in the country that signify, the fortitude of our country and our history and the greatness of what Zimbabwe is. And that's what we want to bring that back. We believe in the potential of Zimbabwe. We believe that we've got the people, we've got the resources, and with the support of the continent, as we've seen, and the support of the world, we believe that we can bring Zimbabwe to a status of being great, and that's what we're trying to do.
So many people in SADC region, I can think of Malawi right now, and think of using Zimbabwe, has experienced lack of leadership in institutions like SADC and institutions like AU, where it actually took Malawians themselves to fight the election that was flawed, but the election that was declared by these institutions as a legitimate election. And here now we have Zimbabwe, what is happening in Zimbabwe currently. There's been like a silence from your AU and from other neighboring countries. How can ordinary Africans who are listening to this, how can they contribute in your battle? And what would you be thankful for in terms of what they can do that can create pressure that can help your country to finally maybe with this round of unrest to get what you truly deserve as a country that has built best education, as a country that has gifted the world with one of the most talented and bright people?
Maybe for me, I think the approach has got to be something that's a lot broader, not just to focus on the case of Zimbabwe. I think it's a call to action for Africa, and I think it's a call for an awakening for the continent. I think we need to get to a point where we start having bodies of accountability across the continent that put pressure on our political leaders, that put pressure on our governments and our presidents in such a way that no African president can feel that they can get away with any form of repression against their people. That there is no government and there's no political party that can get away with any form of rigging of elections across the continent. So I would love for it to just be a Zimbabwean, response to Zimbabwe, but I think we've got to capitalize on this momentum, and as Africans start to think, because tomorrow we're going to hear cases in another part of Africa where a government is unleashing itself against its people, and we need to have a place and a standard that we follow that just does not have any tolerance towards that. So it's us Africans starting to care for one another, starting to care about what's happening in each other's countries enough to start to expect our own leaders to take certain positions about how the affairs of other countries are going. The brotherhoods that African countries and leaders have had, which obviously is, coming from the history of coming and having fought the colonial systems together, it's not serving the continent, Mapi. And we need to start being honest and open about that. And I think it's you and I who are sitting with policy makers. We're the ones who are sitting with decision makers and political players and presidents. Those conversations need to start being had. We need to start changing the way that we view the accountability that we have on the continent. And we need the South African government, we need the South African president, who's currently the chair for AU. We needed to get to his ears. And if I'm not mistaken, he's also head of the PM review mechanism. He needs to be able to sit down with President Mnangagwa and say, this is not acceptable. And if he and everybody around the region feel that he is no longer fit for the job, they need to get to a point where they're able to convince him that perhaps he needs to leave the job and give it to somebody else. So let's take the agency as Africans and let's start to care for our intercontinental issues a little more genuinely, and let's start to expect our own country leaders to make positions and to take stances against any leaders across the continent who are going against what the spirit of Africa should be.
What do you think about people back home right now? What concerns you the most? And what is the good that can come out of this terrible situation?
You know, my concern is the safety of people. The concerns are many, to be honest. But I think the one that's truly man-made at this stage is the fact that there's a crackdown on opposition players. There's a crackdown on journalists. There's a crackdown on activists. You know, and literally people are getting followed. They're not safe. People are being trailed by anonymous, vehicles that are unmarked. And people are being abducted, and people are being, harmed, bodily harmed, atrociously. I mean, the footage that's coming out of Zimbabwe is disturbing. I mean, we've got instances of 3 opposition ladies who were taken from police custody and driven to an unknown location where they were made to eat excretal matter, and they were made to, they were put through inhuman treatment that, we can't talk about in 2020, Mapi. And it's happening across. Nobody is safe. People are being hunted down. The government has unleashed a witch hunt against opposition who are trying to speak out against mismanagement, who are trying to speak out against corruption, who are trying to speak out against the failure of the system. And that concerns me. That needs to be stopped. And then we can deal with other issues. The healthcare system has completely deteriorated. We made headlines a few days ago where one of our public hospitals, 8 of the 9 children who were delivered in the night died. Lives are being lost, Mapi. Lives are being lost because the political elite have decided to take the resources of the state and make them personal, and have robbed the state of the services that are supposed to be given to the people of Zimbabwe.
You've painted a grim picture, but here I'm sitting with you, having created many sustainable businesses. Where do Zimbabweans get their resilience?
I think it's the experience that we've been through. I think everybody kind of hits their rock bottom, and I strongly believe that the only way after you hit rock bottom is up, and then coming up we have mastered how to get past disappointments, because in Zimbabwe's case the operating environment economically has been very unstable. So things are, constantly shifting, and and your plans are constantly being moved around and changed, and you have to survive, Mapi. Life is that you have to make it through. You've got responsibilities, you've got families, and for those with children, they've got children that they still need to look after and they need to bring up, and you can't afford to give up. So we really have been squeezed to the point that I think the resilience that is capable to come out of the people has now been expressed in Zimbabweans. I think we have reached that point, and we know how to make a plan. It's a thing that works for us and against us, because we make a plan about everything, and that's a great thing. And I think that's something that makes the future look so bright, because however Zimbabwe turns out, and hopefully we get some of these leadership issues, out of the way, the people who are Zimbabweans right now and the potential that they have to recreate the country because of, the persons that they have become through the suffering that they have gone through is tremendous. We are literally sitting on the edge of building, I think, what could become the next big African dream. And that is the hope. We are ready for it, and the people are ready for it. The people feel it. We've got everything. The ground is swollen with the resources. The land is bursting with fertility, and the people are just waiting to be given the opportunity and the chance. So that keeps us going. That is our hope, and we're not going to let go of it.
So the show is about being thankful, and I would just like to get 4 things that you are thankful of, despite clearly the world that has thrown a lot of challenges at us.
So my 4 would be: I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful that we're sitting on this table and we're talking. I think there's somebody who would have wanted to be here, and in fact, in this moment, somebody's having their last breath. I'm grateful that being alive gives us the opportunity to create and to be and to make a difference and to make a change. I'm grateful for connection and relationships. I'm grateful for this, being able to sit as 2 individuals and being able to connect as human beings. I think it's a great gift that God has given us as people to live life in fellowship and community and connection. I'm grateful for the ability to create. I think that excites me the most. We can create our lives, we can create gadgets, we can create anything that we put our minds to. And I think that ability as human beings is one that just blows my mind, and that one I don't take advantage of, because it means that I can create, I can make changes about my life, I can make changes about other people's lives, and that exists in all of us. I think that's pretty amazing. And the final thing is that I am grateful. I'm grateful for being in South Africa right now. So being in South Africa for me has taught me a great sense of openness, of hospitality. My experience, I've been here since lockdown, has been grand gestures of hospitality that I have received from the people in South Africa, and that is really truly humbling, and it's enriched my life in such a deep way. And so I'm grateful for South Africa. I'm grateful for the land. I'm grateful for the people. I'm grateful for your history. I'm grateful for your advancement as a country, and I'm grateful that you have become a place of hope and inspiration. Particularly, I think, for a lot of Zimbabweans, and we don't take that for granted.